Hi, and welcome back to Glazed Watermelon. One of the coolest things we acquired this year was the MiSTer Pi. The MiSTer Pi is a custom FPGA development board designed by the YouTuber and hardware developer Taki Udon as a cost-effective alternative to the DE10 Nano board.
The MiSTer project enables accurate emulation of various retro gaming consoles and computers through FPGA technology. Basically, the MiSTer Pi lets you play a bunch of retro games and feel as close as possible to playing on the original hardware. Today, we're pairing the arcade 1-up with the MiSTer Pi as a fun way to enjoy our favorite arcade games at home.
Please remember to like and subscribe for more content. We got our arcade 1-up machine a long time ago. As you can see, we haven't used it in a while. It's become a storage spot for our nerdy collectibles. Our arcade 1-up was limited to only a handful of Street Fighter games, so we bought a special adapter that allows us to connect any HDMI signal to the screen.
We also modified the buttons with a board that allows us to use them as USB controllers. As for the speakers, we bought some cheap but good sounding speakers that receive audio directly from the HDMI board, so no additional hookups are required.
Previously, we had been using a Raspberry Pi 3 with a custom emulation station theme that worked well, but the Raspberry Pi 3 was a bit underpowered for some of our favorite arcade games. So now, it's the perfect time to upgrade to the MiSTer Pi. The setup process is basically plug and play and didn't take long at all.
First, we suggest configuring the MiSTer Pi beforehand on a TV. Make sure you have all the games and updates installed and ready to go. It will make everything easier since the Pi will be placed inside the arcade 1-up.
We start by making sure we have the correct power supply for the MiSTer Pi. It turns out that if you have a low wattage power supply, like the one that we were using, you may experience issues like random reboots and problems with peripherals, especially if you have a lot of them connected.
Next, we connect the video out from the MiSTer Pi to the HDMI board and plug in the USB cables that connect the two custom joysticks and buttons. The side USB worked fine for us. If you'd like more information on how to customize your arcade 1-up like ours, please let us know in the comments. The great thing about this mod is that it allows you to connect many devices such as a Raspberry Pi or even a full-on PC.
One important thing to remember is that the arcade 1-up screen has an aspect ratio of 5:4. You need to make some configuration changes to get the proper look. To do this, go into the MiSTer Pi INI settings and choose a resolution of 1280 by 1024 or another 5:4 resolution. Another thing you'll need to configure is the joystick and button controls. You will have to do this for most cores. We have a small wireless USB keyboard that we've been using for years. It makes configuring the controls much easier.
Just press Escape on the keyboard to bring up the menu, then choose Button Key Remap. There will be some mapping options like for mouse controls that you can skip by pressing spacebar on the keyboard.
Some games, like shooters, are displayed horizontally by default. Go into the settings and select Rotate Screen to turn them vertically.
But why put a MiSTer Pi inside an arcade 1-up cabinet? Well, the MiSTer Pi provides hardware-accurate simulation, meaning that you're getting as close as possible to having the actual arcade boards running these games.
The people creating these cores for the MiSTer project are amazing, and we want to thank them all for their hard work. Some of them have Patreon, so be sure to support them.
The arcade 1-up cabinet gives you a convenient way to play games without buying an expensive old arcade system that takes up a lot of space. Is it the most accurate way to play your games? Not exactly. Is it convenient and fun? Absolutely.
And that's why we did it. Sure, a Raspberry Pi or a PC can provide a better interface with a more arcade-like feel, but the MiSTer feels a lot closer to playing the original games. Plus, it can emulate many titles that the Raspberry Pi struggles with.
Overall, we think the combination of the MiSTer Pi and the arcade 1-up is great for people looking to play some really cool arcade games without breaking the bank or committing to a full-size arcade system.
We're glad to be back, and we want to say thank you to all of our subscribers for your patience. Right now, we're at 486 subscribers, and our goal is to reach 500 before the end of the year. If you like this video, please subscribe for more content. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.